Hello YouTube viewers and random Ghostbusters fans. Today I will be taking a look at the Mattycollector PKE meter. So, like all Mattycollector toys, this comes in a basic mailing box, which is bland but helps to protect the actual packaging when in storage. But that's dull. So let's look at the actual packaging. As you can see, it looks wonderful. The detail on it is highly creative as it resembles a wooden shipping crate and is littered with various hilarious warning labels such as "Do not use in shower" and "Will explode in areas of immense psychic energy." Great stuff. Taking the lid off, you can see the shipping crate effect continues as the interior of the box is stuffed with these styrofoam packing peanuts, which is a nice touch. Plus, the wooden crate detail is also printed on the inside of the box, and the PKE meter sits nicely in a black plastic mould at the bottom of the box. So, let's take a look at the actual product. The detail is highly impressive and highly movie accurate. The green display actually sits out at a 45-degree angle and contains a grid design. All of the buttons and switches are present and correct. Both of the silver wings are lined with 7 LEDs on each side. It just looks so great. However, the back does let it down slightly. We do get those vertical raised lines on the back of the PKE meter, but it's littered with ugly screw holes, and the handle is covered with legal garb, which really takes away the authenticity of the PKE meter, and unfortunately nudges it closer towards a toy than an actual proper replica. Fortunately, the paint job saves it, as instead of just being a jet black plastic mould, little bits of silver paint have been added to various sections of the PKE meter in order to give the impression that it suffered a little wear and tear, which benefits the toy greatly and makes it appear to be metallic silver underneath this worn away black paint. Turning our attention to features, to turn it on, flick the switch at the bottom of the handle. This activates the PKE meter's lights and sound effects, which look amazing. The screen begins to display this arching LED sequence just like in the movie, while the lights on the wings also begin a repetitive sequence. The meter also begins to emit a steady bleeping noise, which does sound good, if a little bit off the mark from the sound effect used in the actual movie. A rotating dial on the back of the handle is used to manipulate the lights and sounds. Turning it to the right will increase the speed and frequency of the lights and sounds, while turning it to the left will slow down the effects. 4 silver buttons on the front of the PKE meter are used to manipulate the wings. Pushing either one of the buttons on the right will extend the wings halfway. Then pressing either button again will lower them. Similarly, pushing either of the buttons on the left will extend the wings fully, and another press will bring them back in again. And once all of these simple maneuvers have been mastered, you can combine them to create the illusion that the PKE meter is picking up the presence of a ghost. Now, if the noise of the PKE meter is getting on your nerves, you can switch it over to prop mode, where the PKE meter will still perform its light sequences, but the sound will be muted. In order to do this, simply press and hold the 2 top silver buttons. The PKE meter's light sequences on the wings can also be changed between those seen in the first and those seen in the second movie. To achieve this, press and hold the bottom buttons until all of the LEDs on the toy flash in unison. The display itself has 3 different modes. Sliding the bar underneath the display across will change the LED sequences from the arching shape to off, and finally to a diagonal pattern. So overall, what do I make of the Mattycollector PKE meter? Well, it's kind of caught in a bizarre purgatory of sorts, as it has the qualities of both a prop replica and a toy, but cannot be placed into either category. The detail and features are far too advanced to render it as a basic toy, yet the various legal garb and ugly screw holes hold it back from being a genuine prop replica. Its controls are somewhat unnecessarily complicated. I would have much more preferred it if the roller on the back of the PKE meter had extended the wings, as well as manipulated the lights and sounds. So, the further you slid the roller, along with increasing the speed of the effects, the wings would have risen higher and higher. It has been claimed that the controls of the PKE meter in the actual movies were so complicated that only Harold Ramis could use it properly, which is why we mainly see Egon manipulating the device in both movies. So, if that is the case, at least this Mattycollector toy can be commended for resembling the difficulty of the prop's controls so closely. The sound effect, well, what can I say about the sound effect? It's just a series of bleeps over and over again, but if you listen carefully to the sound effects in the actual movie, you can hear more subtle noises in the mix than just a standard repetitive bleeping. Fortunately, there is a mute option if the beeping gets on your nerves. on the plus side, we Ghostbusters fans finally have a replica of the PKE meter to call our own. And manipulating the sounds, lights and wings may be tricky, but still, at least it gives us the novelty of walking around our houses scanning for ghosts. The light effects do look great, and I admire the inclusion of the ability to change the readout on the screen. And even though it's a subtle change, I really have to appreciate the ability to switch between the light sequences of the original movie and the sequel. The idea to design the packaging to look like a wooden shipping crate is inspired, and even though the box doesn't actually display the toy, it still looks excellent up on your shelf. Ultimately, this is an essential toy, prop replica, call it what you will, for any major fan of Ghostbusters. And for the small faults I've found with it, I'm willing to overlook them thanks to the product's major amounts of positives. So that does it for this review. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, there are countless more reviews online. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to keep following the nerd.